What's up, boys and girls? This is Remington, and I'm going to show you how to save yourself a lot of time in Photoshop by making some quick commands and some new actions for making selections on here. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. When you're making vector renderings or a lot of graphic design things and illustration on Photoshop, you make a lot of paths to make clean edges. I do this a lot in transportation design. You need to make really nice clean edges. So as I've made paths all over this thing. You see I've got 30, 40 paths on here, and they have multiples on each one. So I've got a bunch of paths already saved. So let's say normally what you would have to do is you would have to highlight the selection, right click, make selection, add new selection right there, like that, and hit OK. You have to do those 4 buttons just to make that selection. Now to subtract something out of it, or just maybe take out the glass or something like that, if I wanted to paint in this area and not have to worry about overlapping the glass, you would highlight the selection, or highlight the path, right click, make selection, subtract from selection, hit OK. So then it shows you what you've got selected on there, and it takes it off for you. So that's too much work just to do that, because I have to do that hundreds of times during the process of the rendering, so it just takes up too much time. So what I did is created these actions, and the actions will help you to make, I'm going to delete that one, are going to help you to save a lot of time. Right now I have them made, all 4, subtract, add, intersect. I have them all on hotkeys right now for F5 and F6. Those are the ones I use the most, and it makes it far easier. I'll show you what I mean. Let's say I wanted to highlight that glass right there. 1 button, F5, boom, it's on there. Let's say I wanted to subtract something from it. Let's take these out of here. If I wanted to make just that area, take out the windshield wipers. I'm holding shift, selecting all those paths. If I want to take them out, normally I'd right click and go through and press the subtract, but right now I've got it hotkeyed to F6, so I just press F6, boom, it's all taken out. And I've got just that selection area. So in order to do that, it's pretty easy. All we have to do is you got to get yourself a little bit familiar with the actions menu on here. You can open that up in the window and open your actions. If you've never made that before, what it does is it records your actions on Photoshop and remembers what you do on there. So you kind of do a little bit of prep here. Okay, so get this path ready to go. So that path is on there. Okay, so I'm going to go new action. I'm going to hit new action right there on the new, and we call that select 3. Okay, and go record. And when it's recording, the little red light will turn on right here. It's going to open you your new action that you're recording on right here, and it is recording. So it's not going to record your mouse or anything. All it is recording your actions that you're doing. So I'm going to select that path that I had ready to go, and I'm going to do the long way. Right click, make selection, new selection, OK. So see how that changed right there? It recorded it, and you press stop. So now that is recorded on there, I'm going to deselect. Now that that's recorded on there, anytime I have a path, I can come over to this one and press play, and it'll do that same motion of those couple buttons. So now if I was going to do another one, look, I'm going to go new, and I'm going to call this subtract 1. I'm going to say record, so it's making a new one for me. So let's say I'm going to highlight this path, and I want to go make selection, subtract from path, and hit OK. And that's subtracted on there, and that recorded it for me. I'm going to hit stop again. So now I've got subtract on here. I'm gonna hit deselect, and now watch what I can do. Got this, and we'll select it, and then we'll take that, and now it's got the same thing. I could press play over here, and it would do that motion for me. Now, the part that makes it really fast is once you have recorded all 4 of these, just do the same process. Just go in and set it up and do it one at a time for each action. Make all 4 of them. Once you've done that, go into here, double click, and it'll give you these options right here for a function key. I use a Mac, so a lot of the function keys are already used up, but F5 and F6 are not. So I'm using F5 on here. And if you have that key already set to something on your preferences for your whole computer itself, you may have to go change it so that it doesn't confuse your computer when you're using Photoshop. But I've got it set to F5 right now, so I'll just leave it at that. For these ones, since I was still doing it on the F5 and F6, I have my add button right now. And since shift was already used for something, command F5 was already used for something, my options were left to shift command F5. So got that set on there. You can set it however you want, anywhere. It doesn't have to be the F5s. You can make it whatever you want. But that's how I set it up, so that I have those set up on there now. Now watch this. I can go to my paths. Let's say, and now this is how fast it works now. One button, F5. Take that one out. One button, F6. Subtract. If I wanted to do the intersection, so let's say taking that whole area, and let's say I wanted to grab that bumper, or this different bumper that I had. This was the other version that I had on there. So let's say I just wanted to intersect that section with the one I've got on here. I could highlight that one, and I should be able to go Command Shift F6, and sure enough, intersects. And that's all there is to it. Thanks very much for watching. So let's say taking that whole area, and let's say I wanted to grab that bumper, or this different bumper that I had. This was the other version that I had on there. So let's say I just wanted to intersect that section with the one I've got on here. I could highlight that one, and I should be able to go Command Shift F6, and sure enough, intersects. And that's all there is to it. Thanks very much for watching.